Don't take my baby. I'm at $13,000 a month. What more do you want from me? Oh my.
And then when I went to prison for 5 years, when I got out of prison in 2003, I paid child support from that day until just February of last year when I lost my job.
Only because they garnished your wages.
Absolutely, that's what they do. And I actually asked my public defender, where's the proof? I've yet to see proof that the child's mine.
When it comes to 6-month-old Isaac, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Kaiser, you are not the father.
Are you sure?
I'm sorry, Mr. Kaiser. You are shaking.
I know.
I feel your nervousness from here. Are you okay?
Yes, Your Honor, I am.
Mr. Benning, you are not the father.
A man learned he wasn't the father of his 3 sons and how he took violent revenge on his wife.
Men, you need to know this. You can have a DNA test in your hand that, as Maury Povich would say, says you are not the father. You can go to court and a judge can still say you owe child support. On 7 Action News at 11, I spoke to 4 men who took DNA tests to court and did not get the response.
Welcome back, guys. Let's take a look at some of the most cold-hearted paternity fraud cases committed by women and get away with, and men end up paying the prices. Remember, we always save the best for last, so stay tuned till the end to find out what will happen to these women that think they can get away with committing paternity fraud to get child support from men.
Don't take my baby. I'm at $13,000 a month. What more do you want from me? Oh my.
The child support payments, did you ever get those lowered? Because I know at some point it was the whole thing, like $20K a month.
I've never paid $20,000 a month in my life. It's what she's asking for.
That's what she was asking for. Got it.
Without realizing that there's no child on any level that needs $20,000 in Atlanta.
Right.
Truth be told is she makes about $160,000 a year herself. I do really well for myself. If you get into the actual needs of the child, our daughter will never be without. So if you're going to leave me and you and your lawyers are now trying to take my life with you, there's no alimony. We had a prenup. I'm confused as a mother. We had a baby and we're sharing this baby. So let's just make sure the baby is okay.
If I recall your testimony correctly, Mr. Gibson, you said 2018 you were financially in, quote, shambles. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So in 2018, when you were financially in shambles, do you know how much you made that year?
I don't.
Well, according to your tax return, you made $2.221 million. It's page 32. Do you want to check my math?
Sir, I'm asking you because I don't do the CFO thing. Here's a question to you, smart person.
No, hey, that's enough. You go sit down. We're taking a break. Lawyer's back now. If you do it again, I'm going to hold you in contempt. You don't ask any questions. That's not how this works.
This is all I got. This is all I got. Don't take my baby, okay? I've been away from my baby for 2 months. I just want my baby. And no one's listening because no one's in the courtroom. I'm not doing anything illegal. I'm not doing anything illegal, but I don't want nobody. Oh my God, am I doing something illegal by doing this video, or am I protected by the First Right Amendment or the amendment? Don't take my baby. I'm at $13,000 a month. What more do you want from me? Oh my.
No one is safe from the system. Take, for example, Tyrese Gibson, who was arrested after his wife left him and demanded $20,000 a month in child support for their 6-year-old child. It's hard to justify such a high amount for the needs of a young child. It seems like the request might be more about using his money for other purposes rather than truly providing for the child's welfare. This situation highlights how the system can sometimes be exploited, leading to disputes that feel unfair towards man.
You claim you spent 5 years in prison for failing to pay child support for the defendant, Ms. Sears' son, Dylan.
That's right.
The results are as follows. In the case of Manser versus Sears, as it pertains to 20-year-old Dylan Sears, Mr. Manser, you are not
Oh, God.
his father.
Oh, man. 5 years in prison. Oh, my God. She should be convicted of some crime.
No, I should not. Miss Sears, do you know?
Yes, ma'am.
You know who his father is.
Yes, I talk to him still.
You cannot stand there and really suggest that you cannot comprehend why this man would not have any type of ill feeling, frustration, or regret as it relates to anything involving you. 5 years in prison. And then I say, do you know who your son's father is? And you say, yes, I'm still in touch with him. That is a really huge pill to swallow.
Having 5 years of your life taken away from you because someone just put your name on a piece of paper without your consent is wild. 5 years of your life are gone because you did not pay child support for a child that was never proven to be yours and no one is held accountable. What world are we living in?
Men, you need to know this. You can have a DNA test in your hand that, as Maury Povich would say, says you are not the father. You can go to court and a judge can still say you owe child support. On 7 Action News at 11, I spoke to 4 men who took DNA tests to court and did not get the response.
We imagine being told that you have to pay child support or go to jail for a child that you 100% know is not yours. You've taken every possible step to prove that the child isn't yours. Even a DNA test confirms it, but the system still holds you accountable. You're forced into an impossible situation where your options are either paying for a child you have no connection to or going to jail.
They are what we call dads by default.
DNA was established, and I was not the father scientifically. No relationship with child, no relationship with woman, but the great old friend of the court system tells me I'm legally responsible for this child.
I'm getting garnished, I'm getting thrown in jail, I'm getting felony charges.
You have taken our lives. You've taken these kids' life. They don't even know their real parents. Change that law.
Imagine being told to pay child support for a kid that is not yours or go to jail. That was the order the state handed down to a Detroit man.
Carnell Alexander walked into the Frank Murphy Hall of Justice knowing in moments he could lose his freedom.
I stayed up all night, couldn't sleep, thinking about it.
Carnell is a wanted man because he refuses to do what the state orders and to pay child support for a child that DNA tests prove isn't his, a child he doesn't even know.
I haven't even had a chance to really speak to him except for one time when we took the DNA test.
Nonetheless, right now, under the law, he's a deadbeat dad. Today, he turned himself in to the judge as ordered.
Scared because I've been before this judge before.
But this time he had attorney Cherika Harris, who volunteered to help after seeing his story on 7 Action News. The judge said he will not go to jail for today.
Thank you. Thank Ms. Harris. And hope that we can resolve this soon.
I'm just trying to help him with his future.
Though the threat of jail is on hold, it is not over. Carnell Alexander still owes more than $30,000 to the state for a child that's not his.
How is this even allowed? To owe more than $30,000 of child support for a kid you know the mom and the judge know is not yours, and if you don't pay, you can still go to jail, And the woman who committed this fraud is still walking the streets free and is still able to do the same to someone else. Shouldn't she be in jail for fraud?
Because the mom wrote his name down because she needed to name someone in order to get welfare benefits.
And I had to put him down as the father. That was the only way I can get assistance.
Now,
I'm almost homeless. I'm almost in jail. I'm out of work. My money is being threatened to be taken.
Carnell isn't just worried about how this is impacting him. He says the law needs to be changed so when this happens, as it often does, other men don't become dad by default.
We can be defaulted into being a father of a child that is not ours. I don't understand that law, but it is a law.
When it comes to 6-month-old Jermaine Benning Jr., it has been determined by this court Mr. Benning, you are not the father. When it comes to 2-year-old Messiah Cates, it has been determined by this court. Mr. G, you are not the father. You are shaking.
I know.
I feel your nervousness from here. Are you okay?
Yes, Your Honor, I am.
Mr. Benning, you are not the father. You said earlier that if Robin was not your biological child, it causes you to doubt whether or not you truly are the biological father of Jermaine Benning Jr. The court wants to make sure when you leave here you have the whole truth. You are not the father. When it comes to 2-year-old Messiah Cates, it has been determined by this court. Mr. G, you are not the father.
Tori, it's heartbreaking to see grown men cry like this, knowing that the actions of these women will go without consequences. Most men want children and dream of being a part of their kids' lives as much as possible. To have that dream taken from them is unforgivable. After these verdicts, those men will struggle to trust any woman who claims a child is theirs, because they've seen firsthand how cruel some women can be and how they often avoid taking responsibility for their actions. This betrayal leaves deep scars, making it hard for these men to ever fully believe in or trust any woman again.
So I was reading that this young man slumped over and died right after reading the DNA results that the son that he's been taking care of for all this long does not belong to him. This was after he caught his wife cheating on him with a younger man through Snapchat video. So the only reason why he got the DNA test was because he realized, okay, so my woman is a cheater. My woman is very choo-choo for the street. Thomas the train hitter. So you're like, oh, let me just go ahead and get a DNA test on this kid I've been taking care of for years. Just to find out it's not even your child. All the emotional and financial investment that you just invested in somebody else's child. You were like a student grant. I definitely agree that she should be in jail because it's like, so you just read the result and just pockets were shook. I couldn't imagine knowing that I took care of somebody for so long just for them not to be my actual child. This is why people believe at birth DNA test should be mandatory.
Paternity fraud can have severe and tragic consequences, including life-threatening situations. I've seen and heard many cases where the outcomes are devastating. This case involved a man who lost his life due to the emotional and psychological toll of discovering that he had been deceived. Such situations highlight the deep impact that dishonesty and disregard for someone's feelings can have. It's crucial to address these issues with sensitivity and support to prevent such tragedy.
You are not the father. Miss Miller. I'm sorry. Miss Miller. I'm sorry. That's a lot of nerve, considering the alternative is somebody that don't want nothing to do with you or your child. I'm sorry. That's a lot of nerve. You just showed me where your priorities were right there. Because I held out hope that you weren't just acting a fool because you so mad at him because he cheated on you that you would cheat your child out of a father. But that cheering you did, what you cheering? I'm a single mother with nobody that loves me or my child. What you cheering for? I'm not. No, you were. He is over here breaking down because he lost this child so much. I sit here day after day after day with women hoping a man would drive 16 miles to see their baby, much less 160 miles each way, and abide by a court order and sign a birth certificate and come day after day and week after week so they can grow visitation to have a relationship with a child. And you have no compassion for not just him, but for Zaylee. She's 3 years old.
This shows that some women have no sympathy for how a man feels, even when the pain is caused by their own actions. It's as if the man's emotions and well-being are disregarded. This lack of empathy only deepens the hurt, making it clear that in certain cases, a man's feelings are seen as secondary or even irrelevant, regardless of the situation.
When it comes to 10-month-old King Tidwell, it has been determined by this court, Mr. Tidwell, you are not his father. Are you kidding me?
Messed up, man.
Are you all right?
Not really.
What are you feeling in this moment? In the case of Brown versus Stewart, when it comes to 15-month-old Colby Brown, it has been determined, Mr. Brown, you are not the father. I told you. Mr. Brown, you need to sit down.
I just don't understand how someone could do that to somebody. 18 months. It's a long time.
In the case of Salvo v. Gonzalez, Mr. Gonzalez, it has been determined by this court that you are not the father.
Can I still come around and see Amaya and help her out if I can? Because for a year and 4 or 5 months, she's been my daughter, and she's still going to be my daughter. And I told her that before she came in the show. I got on my knees and I told her that.
It is disheartening that even after being betrayed, he was still willing to stay in that child's life, fully aware she wasn't his. The connection and bond he had already formed with the child meant so much to him that he couldn't just walk away. Despite the hurt, he was ready to sacrifice for the sake of the relationship he built, showing just how deep his love and commitment ran.
So you were behind my back?
Yeah, I'm grown. I'm old enough now. I feel like I got the right to do that. So I just wanted to get a test and see what is my daddy.
And so you called him?
Yeah, I called him. He was like, he thought I was his son. So that means that...
We don't see nothing funny.
Nah.
But see, I told you that was your dad. I first of all, that is your dad. I don't know what's going on. I don't know who you took the test with and what you had going on, but that's your daddy.
Yeah. It sounds good, but look, I'm just saying.
It sounds good.
Nah, that's the result. The results say what it say now. I can't lie. I can't fake no results. Now, if you had something going on, then the man that was my daddy.
First of all, you didn't have no business going behind my back. That's what you didn't have no business doing.
Yeah, but I just feel like I ain't had no bond with him like that. Like, I knew something was off. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I wanted to go get my results and see what's going on.
Let me tell you something.
It's okay. You know, I'm old enough, I understand. Now, if my real dad ain't want to take care of me, you know what I'm saying?
See, some things are better left unsaid.
Oh, okay.
You should just left it like it was. I ain't tell you, I told you that was your daddy. You should have went right on with it all these years. You 18 years old, 19 years old now. It's no sense in trying to go behind my back and figure it out. You too old now.
This deception has not only hurt the son, but also the man who dedicated 18 years of his life to raising someone else's child without knowing the truth. She doesn't take responsibility or feel any remorse for what she has done. Let it had been a man that did not pay child support for 18 years, they wouldn't have waited 18 years to put him behind bars and have him pay back payments for every month he missed.
You are not
In the case of 4-year-old Brandon, Gary, you are not. When it comes to 2-year-old Serenity, Alfonso, you are not. When it comes to 1-year-old Jordan, John, you are not. In the case of 4-month-old Royal, Harold, you are not.
Are not the father.
Told you.
Hold up.
I already knew it. I told you.
Don't look at me like that. I don't know God's
Who
plan.
else? It was you that was.
Did you just inject God in this? I did not put him in this. I'm just saying.
No, I'm just, look, hold on. Now, the plan of Giovanni being on this earth might be God's, but the lie you told about his paternity is your own. So just claim it.
Not every man is devastated by the news that he is not the father of a child he thought was his. For some men, the revelation might actually be a relief, especially if they had reservations about having children with certain women. If they know or suspect that a woman has been unfaithful or is not fit to be a good mother, discovering that they are not the father might alleviate concerns about raising a child in an unsuitable environment. In these cases, the news could be seen as a chance to avoid potential challenges and difficulties associated with parenthood under less than ideal circumstances.
Sing this shit!
Don't swipe now. Come back here. Hey, ladies, did you know that paternity fraud is now a crime? Yeah, let's talk about House Bill 2689, because they locking y'all up.
I'm going to make my money one way or another. Even if that means locking you up, I'll make my money off of you being locked up. Please peep the game.
Oh, yeah. And this hookup culture? Oh, yeah, that's a wrap, because they're making it so you can no longer get child support off of one-night stands. If that man wasn't in your life, let me tell you.
Not only are they making it mandatory for the man to get a DNA test before he signs a birth certificate, but now they're like, look, you're not going to be able to get any money off of this man if he was not actively, long-term, a part of your everyday life.
Oh, yeah, it's true, too. And if I could add on to this bill, you know what? If all these fathers are paying these high amounts in child support, why not give the child to the father? Yeah, that's coming, too. I mean, what you think?
I'm going to be honest enough to admit that a man would probably be more capable of raising a child on his own than a woman.
All right, so those of you who are in Tennessee, guess what? House Bill 2689 is getting ready to pass. That is requiring paternity tests before you sign the birth certificate. Because, you know, when people do paternity tests, 1/3 of the time, they end up not being the father. And if they start testing everybody, that number can only go up, not down. It's going to be dramatic. And right now they're starting to also add in things like, you know, maternity fraud is a crime, and a punishable crime. So guys used to go to jail for not paying child support on a child that wasn't theirs because the state wants to get their money, because if there is no father to pay for the child support, somebody has to pay for it, so they push it onto the nearest person that could be a father figure. And they're actually starting to jail time the ladies for maternity fraud because it is such a rampant crime.
So I don't agree with a lot that they do in politics, but I agree with this one. The hustle is over. The scams are done in the state of Tennessee. And I know some of y'all feel like, well, why should we have to do all of this? They should trust me, because y'all be lying. The women be lying. And if you know that this is his baby without a shadow of a doubt, husband, boyfriend, baby daddy, it don't matter who it is. Let them go on and get that paternity test, sis. If you on the up and up, it shouldn't bother you. And for all of those women out there faking pregnancy to scam men, ooh, y'all big mad now, ain't you?
All right, guys, we've come to the end of this video, and if you enjoyed it, do well to click on the like and subscribe buttons. Don't forget to check other videos on our playlist. We've got some amazing contents for you. See you in our next video.